Hello world. Today is December the 13th, 2017. I weighed in this morning at 141.6 pounds. I'll be squatting 255 pounds, followed by overhead press, still at 95, deadlift for 295, that's a second attempt, and then rounding out the program with curls and hanging leg raises. I started this morning off a little differently, playing around with Twitch's mobile streaming functionality. And Twitch mobile app is pretty hit or miss. I don't think it's a bandwidth issue. Play around with it. I think you'll observe the same. So, I don't know. I've got a separate app I can use, but before I take on Twitch affiliate or whatever, as long as I still don't have the exclusivity clause binding me, I really want to be broadcasting content across all channels. In fact, if anything, I want to add additional channels. I have a short list. One thing's been bothering me since the close of the last session. It's like, it's right here. I don't know what it is. Thought maybe? I gotta work that out later. Feel it too on this side, but not nearly as bad as it is over here. Said it earlier, but you may observe that that camera is still the same. Package, I think, got delayed. It's coming off of the East Coast, New Hampshire or something. Maybe there was snow up there, slowed something down. It'll either be delivered today or tomorrow. And I'm really looking forward to getting that new cam in. Seeing what the wider point of view does, the wider field of view does. And then after that, there's not too much more I want to add. Heart rate monitoring. I'll have to get a Bluetooth dongle. That'll more or less button everything up. Curls, perhaps? Probably is. Really might be. Because I did use this other grip. Normally I'm using this tighter grip here. And I closed out like this. But I was doing the drop sets. I didn't switch to that wider grip until that additional weight on bar had gone down to 30 pounds. Oh no. I think I do need to engage in some more self-massage. Just to work out the kinks. I've never really invested enough time into that. So, I think a week ago, I was watching this YouTube video. Talk given by a man. And I took some notes from it. He was talking about the homeless person. A sign. It was a very typical homeless person's sign saying, like, hey, if you can spare some change, I could really use it. And he offered to this person that he would rewrite her sign. Apparently, there are two major objections when it comes to soliciting donations. Charity. One, overcoming this objection. Well, I've already donated to a charity, or to some cause I believe in. Okay. Secondly, does this person or does this cause really need it? By rewriting the sign, he was able to overcome both successfully enough, such that the homeless person was able to pick up and leave after a couple of hours instead of doing a whole day. Of course, it's relevant to broadcasters. I think many of them would like to do more. They would like to spend more time outputting content or increasing their production value. It's always a challenge, especially when you're small. Just ask people for money. Chris, do I ever work my triceps? Not with real resistance training. What I have been doing is close grip push-ups. In fact, I'm supposed to do those today too. I'm supposed to have push-ups in today's program. Push-ups will follow the deadlift. Today's going to be a busy day. I could, I suppose, use the bar in the bench to do skull crushers. Those in. Set 1, 255. Hey Siri, timer 2 minutes. Anyhow, revisiting this topic of soliciting donations. This is a thing that's important to me, not only because I broadcast some content, it's also because I invest considerable time to writing. I want to get deeper into video. long time ago I knew with writing that just the way that the world technology has evolved, one, you need images. Getting good images is important. So instead of looking at like crappy stock photography, I've tended to go take my own. Time cost. Then you've gotta pick through, edit. Like I took pictures out when it snowed the other day. And while I have offloaded them from the camera, thrown them onto my file server, I've picked through them a bit. I haven't uploaded a single one for public viewing. I guess I just don't feel a real sense of urgency about it. But through my personal website, I've been self-publishing for years now. I've never sold anything explicitly. I might write a product review. So for me, affiliate links were very important. And I wrote about this not too long ago. Private channels. Time's up. I'll continue along this train of thought. Set 2. Hey Siri, timer 2 minutes. I've noticed this year there was a significant decline in the affiliate revenues that I was gaining, I was earning. I'm sure there's been a drop off as well in visitor count, but not nearly as drastic. Some content I have took a lot of time to put together. And again, I'm not talking about Yeti Eater. Some years back, I was following this guy, can't remember what his name was, but he put together this text. It was called Chris Guillebeau, 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 and yeah, this text, the $100 startup. And this guy was talking about, all right, here's how you build a following, or here's how you build any traction. You start by giving away your best work for free. And I've talked about this before too. Like the thing you can't give away for free sustainably is goods and services, right? But knowledge you can freely disseminate to people. So I was in the business then of disseminating knowledge, and for a long time the site just had this, it had like some contact form, had a little bit of text introducing people, like, hey, this is where this knowledge comes from. Here's where I've been with it, and like to this day, it's still just like, if you found it helpful, please consider donating. And I've changed this text a little bit. Holy shit, time went by fast. Okay, I'm going to try keeping these rest intervals tight, because that's what I've done so far. Set 3. Again, I'll continue along this train of thought after this set. I should be able to grind this one out. Should be able to. This thing. Maybe it's a sign to just shut the fuck up and and lift. Okay, I counted 4. Continuing on with that train of thought, though, while I'm sitting here thinking about what I just did, I played around with the text on the page a bit. At first, I went for like, hey, if you found this content helpful, if it's contributed in some way to you, consider donating. And then I added in, consider donating. It can cost you absolutely nothing, right? It's just because unless you write something, the chances that anybody clicks through that link, they're tiny, they're abysmally small. Because people see the word donate and they think, all right, guy's got a cup. He's asking you to fill it, right? So then I play around the donate page a little bit too. Say, all right, here, 1, you could send, like, the sending cash in kind I leave at the bottom of the list. Right, the first things I put up, hey, here's the free ways, or like the things that you already do. If you do them through this channel, you can help support me. So I wrote these out. Okay, buy on Amazon, buy on eBay. Sign up for this program that will save you money. It'll also help every time you click through, like cashback portals, sign-up bonuses, things like that. Just anything, right? Thinking. But still, the big thing, getting people to click through to that donate page to begin with. Again, because the word's like donation. Like, all right, he's asking me to take money out of my pocket and hand it directly over to him. So I need to reward this somehow. I can't just be like, hey, dude, throw me your money. Instead, I don't know. Like the theme I've been going for with the Yeti Eater one is like, okay, you click through, you see the donate page, and the first thing it says is like, hey, treat yourself. You treat yourself, use these channels, and it'll kick back a percentage to me. And it's true. You said we pay the same great prices, say on Amazon, and I get a small percentage because of that program. But the focus needs to be, no, it's not just on building up viewership, building up the eyeballs. Somewhere, I'm failing to hit these points of the objections, right? Like getting people to click through to begin with. That's the challenge. And the conversion rates are something like 1%. It's not enough. The goal has to be, okay, how can you take that 1% and make it into 10? Right? It's like the 10x change. That's a real challenge. It's a real challenge. But again, going back to that talk, 2 objections for anybody who's looking to donate to anybody, any cause, anything, charitable organization. 1, overcome objection number 1, which is I've already given, right? And what this guy had, when he modified the homeless woman sign, he wrote like something like if you've already given this month, so addressing that point. And he wrote like, if you've already given this month, please keep me in mind for the next one, or something like that, right? Which actually hits objection number 2 as well. How do I know this person needs it? And well, if this person's already indicating through their signage, like I'm going to be here next month, they need money, right? Like they're staying underneath the bridge or at the intersection or whatever with their sign. What they're saying is like, this is what I do now. It's kind of funny. It's kind of funny. It's like, yeah, I stand here with a sign asking people to give me money. What value does it generate? Really nothing, except for the opportunity for people to feel good for contributing directly over to another person's survivability. Yes. Right. I used to give money to homeless people when they asked, because I was a firm believer in things like karma. right? And I mean, to some extent, I still am. See? I know I can get the weight up from the bottom. Okay. So Chris, you've said that I think if you're going to use affiliate links, that should be in a different place than the straight donate area. I'm 100% more likely to click an affiliate link than to donate. Hey. And then you shared that the website you work for makes a lot of its revenues from affiliate links. I should do that too. I should break those out into 2 separate pages. You're absolutely right. Because then it avoids clouding the issue of, well, like, yeah, both of these things benefit me. Either you send straight money or you just click through this website. I click through this URL. One is a lot lower cost investment for people. So I will look into this. Not just look into it, I'm going to act on it. Smokey TV has returned. Welcome back. I failed my 3rd set. I only got 4 reps out. But I know I can do 5. And I haven't been timing this rest period because I tried keeping it tight for the first 3. Let me look at the heart rate. Ultimately, I want to get the heart rate up on the screen because I think it'd be pretty neat. Make it easier for me too. I don't have to wear extra shit. Weight. Smokey. Weight today is 141.6 pounds. 120 beats per minute. Okay. And you guys. All right. Okay, this is set 4. So, couple of things here. One, this mic keeps rubbing against my cheek. And 2, hey Siri, timer 2 minutes. Okay. You and Blaze helping me. I failed that 3rd one really bad. This 4th one, the form wasn't great. But at least I got it up. $125 kilograms for 6 reps. How much do you weigh, Smokey? Or are you just trying to engage in one-upsmanship? I'd like to know. For now, I'm just sticking to 5 sets of 5. Because it's simple. It's noob programming. I'm a noob. Okay, so here come the notes. Inbox. 1. And 2. Chris, I'm curious with the website that, or the company that you work for, how do you build awareness about the affiliate links? Outside of sprinkling the links inside of article copy or the page content, you use sidebars, headers, buttons, combination of all? Okay, fifth and final set. Oh, shoot. I'm fucked. I'm so fucked by these. Everything is just like... I feel fatigued in the legs. To me, it's personally kind of dispiriting because I feel like I can do better. Social media, links, buttons. You work for Wirecutter, get out. I'm a fan. Like, I've been going through the tech sphere blogs for a long time. The likes of, I started with Hard OCP, and then, well, I mean, you know, I'm talking about my fandom here, obviously, not as a writer. Although I've thought about it before. It would be really cool if I could be a writer for one of those platforms, those publications. But like, my awareness of that whole scene started with Hard OCP and Engadget, expanded over to Gizmodo, and the Wirecutter as well. In fact, I know that you guys are killing it. They're killing it. It's tough as hell to compete with the Wirecutter because you've got experts. You can bring in a whole bunch of product and you split it, like you break it down amongst like 5 people. You know, it's tough for an independent reviewer to have that type of the time, and then getting the depth is tough too. It's a good publication. Really, I mean, I see that one continuing to blow up over time. Much respect for it. The deals team. And yeah, deals are huge too. Deals are absolutely huge. It brings people back, right? Because they want to come through to your website and see what you've got, see what your team has identified. And yeah, it builds up visits, return visits, awareness, everything. I mean, I just go through somebody else's deal site, and then if I think it's good, then I'll change the link attribution. If I buy one, then maybe I'll use the attribution from the site I found it at. But then if I reshare, then of course I'm changing that affiliate tag. You know? Even though, yeah, like, I'm working with such humble platforms. It's about building trust. But really cool to learn that about you. Let me catch up. No, it's Oki. Final Truthfully, though, much as I enjoy writing, I feel like it's one of those things that like, I would rather do. I was talking with a guy. He's New York City based. Met him through, I think through Reddit. Yeah, through Reddit. We'll call it Reddit. New York City based. He's got his own photography studio. Does studio work. And I don't know. He's like probably about my age. He was saying that he wants to do less commercial work. He just wants to shoot for the sake of shooting. I can identify with this too when it comes to writing. Like, commercial writing is pretty boring. Technical writing is pretty boring. Yeah, it pays the bills. Make a career out of being a writer that way, but there's something to be said about keeping hobbies as hobbies, right? Hey Siri. Timer, 2 minutes. Whoops. I mean, Chris, what if somebody threw you the costume? They said, like, hey, all you have to do is, send over your measurements. We'll get the costume done up for you. If you don't like it, we'll reschedule the shoot. I don't know how common that is in the cosplay world, but that'd be pretty cool. PTs can apparently make quite a bit of money, though. Like, I was speaking to another friend, guy I met through a friend of a friend. Played Destiny. He told me he was a PT in the DC area. He's getting paid something like, I can't remember. Anyway, there's a high dollar. I mean, like, really good hourly PT. Like, more than enough to be very happy in America. But then I also learned more about him later. Like, he doesn't come from a moneyed background. He learned to hustle early. That's part of it, I think. It's definitely a part of it. He was talking about how a lot of personal trainers come New Year's, they'll just pick up new clients like crazy, left and right. I see. I'm with you. Like, you do art, you do some creative thing, you want to do it for yourself, ideally, right? And if other people like it, that's great, because then you've got people in your. But turning your art into like a craft that you sell directly to other people, like going straight B2B, I guess, costume design. You don't want to do that personally, unless you really, really just love making clothing. Then you can do it in a factory setting. Or, I take back what I said. Hey Siri. Hey Siri. Timer, 2 minutes. The manufacture of clothing in and of itself is not good. Not a lot of markup there. margins are too slim. You want to go somewhere where you're dealing with the finished product, right? And that's retail. Clothing retail can stand to actually do okay with. Manufacturing clothing, unless you're going for like really high end, it's not a good gig. There's a reason why so precious little clothing is made in the Western world, and a lot of production has even shifted out of China. It's moved on to Southeast Asia or the Indian subcontinent. Pretty wild. Pretty wild. Meanwhile, I have talks with my mother where she's like, "Yeah, I don't see inflation, the thing in the U.S. Since I came to the United States, I feel like everything's more or less the same price. I paid the same, more or less the same amount for a gallon of milk, and my eggs and whatever. I think it's I don't think that's actually factual at all. Since the 80s, mid 80s, mid to late 80s, yeah, prices have gone up. But if you look at a pair of blue jeans or a T-shirt, you'll say, "Hey, look, the clothing's pretty cheap still." But the origin has changed completely, right? If you want something that's made in the U.S., you have to pay out of your eyes, out of your nose, but it's very expensive. Everything else, if it's food, the only reason why it's more or less holding constant is because the amount of human capital required in order to grow it, harvest it, has gone down, increasing mechanization. Hey Siri, timer 2 minutes. Right now, I'm just thinking. I'm looking forward to when I get finished with this. That's not good. I should be up soon. 40 seconds. What the hell? Oh, okay. Understand. Yeah, your sister is more jacked than you. Cool, dude. Thank you for taking a look at the panel. It's huge. Fuck. Okay. Here, I take a little more rest. Hey Siri. Hey Siri. Timer 2.5 minutes. Fuck. I didn't say 10 minutes. Seconds. Timer 2.5 minutes. Change. Done. I mean, seriously though. She's been consistently lifting for a good while, and I'm proud of her. Yeah, I've gone from like allowing myself to waste away, putting on a little bit of mass, to losing it because I get distracted by something else, and back and forth, just yo-yoing between those two states for a long time. That's why I'm streaming, so I can keep myself honest. And I've got a good feeling about it. Got a pretty good feeling that it's already helped. When does she stream? She doesn't so much stream. She, at this point, she'll edit footage that she takes during her gym visits. She'll throw it onto her Instagram. But when she visits Houston, I'll get her on. I won't necessarily stream at the same time. Probably just be operating machine. Stand behind the scenes and let her do her thing. She is Alice_lifts. It's two. She's been up to? Story, that's unusual. Usually she always has one up there. She's actually quite active. Her Instagrams, because apparently that's what a lot of powerlifters are. You got a couple powerlifters here on Twitch as well. Feel ready? Yeah. Okay. Time to fail once more. 5, 5th and final set. Whoa. Fail. Switch scenes. And that was pretty gross. But it's okay. I'm pretty sure that the squat shoes help with this overhead press as well, by forming a slightly more stable base. Well, you can't fall back. And I've always pitched forward a little bit. I don't know. Maybe it doesn't help. All I know is that I have gone higher in the past, and I will go higher again. Chris, I guess it's a good thing that I'm here here in the earlier hours, if we can call this early. I would like to keep myself consistently showing up here, more or less this time, if not just a little earlier. Because starting at noon, wrapping up at 2, getting cleaned up, something by like 2:30, 3, doesn't leave me a lot to work with for the rest of the day. I need to wake up earlier. That means I need to go sleep earlier. I'll get on it. Okay. Let's see. I have a feeling that this view doesn't really do a lot for you. For me or for anyone else. I mean, oh, let me play with it. Right. In fact, I need to be further back. I'm monitoring it here. See, what a shame. Hello. I want to take a moment to look at this. I feel like I've seen that name before. The one that said, sister's, yes, you're right. Your sister is more jacked. Thank you for confirming what I wrote. Not many of you guys can say this. You can lift a lot more than most guys. Not saying that she can outcompete most guys that are competitive at her weight. No. She's good though. Chris, I'm more jacked than my brother. Each person has things that they like to do. How did that come to be, anyways? Oh, whoops. Ejected. Cycling. Should do more cardio as well. Cycling looks like some fun, I guess. Go really far. Very short period of time. I used to run when I was in high school. The weights want to be at a certain place. They gravitate to a certain spot here. Bum, 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 bum. Warm up further or no? I think it'd be okay. I will look this individual up. I mean, this a bodybuilder and fitness model. This isn't the Ziz. Got the like a similar thing going on with the hair. Let's see. What's this guy say about himself? Young. 23 years old now. Guide to aesthetics, bro. The aesthetic life. Accolades. Mr. Olympia men's physique competitor for, let's see, bodybuilding. I mean, that's a very, very short section on bodybuilding. On nationals, youngest IFBB pro in history. He says himself that he trained consistently for 6 years at the time that he went and geared up to compete in men's physique. So, just think that one should at least train, say, 3 years first, consistently. See where that lands you. Better yet, assess as you move along. Don't just go flat out for 6 years and then be like, should I adjust something? How old was he when he did this? Let's see. He doesn't even say what year this was. Whatever, I'm not going to dig. But if that individual is a role model to you, then just, try to emulate that guy's footsteps follow or learn how to do even better, right? See where it takes you. All right, I'm just going to pull this a couple of times. Throw on some more weights to move up to the working weight. First, I'm going to try more or less as you suggested, and not go for too tight of a time. Because at this point, I do just want to pass. I have a kind of a working hypothesis about my an ideal heart rate range at which to begin sets. I want to test to see if that holds up. I was going to respond in chat. It might be close to the end of the linear program. I don't know. I feel like at this point it's time to begin experimenting a little deeper. But you asked, how long have I been lifting for? On and off, many, many, many years. But this time, this stretch, has been from partway through June to now. And per the title, it's the 53rd session. I started at just the empty bar and slowly worked my way up. Incrementally added 10 pounds to the bar for each time I could successfully get through the deadlift, 5 pounds to the bar for every other exercise. Accessory movements, I've just been playing with them. Tried 5x5 a bit, and I tried playing around with other stuff. I'm still very much in this beginner experimentation phase, but yeah, it's getting to the point where these beginner gains are getting more difficult to chase. And I'm gonna try brute forcing it for a bit, but I do have some supplements on the way. It's a free trial of the ShroomTech Sport. You may have heard of it. Saw it. It was like free trial through Facebook. I wish I had an affiliate link for that because the commission for getting people to sign up for trial is pretty good. I'm sure it's going to be a halfway decent product. Had a lot of endorsements for what it's worth. I disagree with their charts. The way they made their charts is kind of misleading. But I'm a fan of supplementation. I haven't been supplementing yet. Briefly took creatine. I took creatine maybe twice. As in 53 sessions. So it doesn't really count. Still have a bit on hand. After Destiny 2 was released, I took a break, about a month's break, just grinding the game, fucking up my sleep schedule, fucking up my diet again. As a gamer, I tend to do that. That comes naturally. But eventually, I'm going to work these in, plus supplements. And I may eventually acquire more gear, like a belt. That would probably help. And then the other piece of gear I have is wrist wraps. They're all bundled up nicely right now. How do I do that? Let me describe. And not an endorsement, I'm not sponsored. Blah, blah, blah. I haven't tried this product yet, so full disclaimer. But the supplement's name is ShroomTech Sport. It's offered by a company called Onnit, O-N-N-I-T. and they had an offer done through Facebook. I don't know how they were targeting folks, but they had an offer. It was you submit some information and you just pay shipping to receive a 28 count. I think at my body weight I'll have to take 4 caps, so it's good for 7 doses. As far as what's in it, ShroomTech Sport, more ingredients. Cordyceps sinensis. It's from Tibet. It's Tibetan fungus. The caterpillar fungus. Oh yeah, this is like, okay, so in Eastern, I know like Chinese folks believe in this stuff too. It's it looks like worms growing out of the ground. This is weird. Okay, and I mean, my father was telling me about this shit before. He bought some. It's expensive as hell, very expensive. But I'm sure you can grow it in a lab too, like in a laboratory clean room environment. It's a fungus, right? Just give it the right grow medium and it's working. So it's Cordyceps sinensis, Sinensis, ashwagandha, aka Indian ginseng, green tea extract, I guess, as an antioxidant, maybe for caffeine as well. Yeah, I think it's largely for the antioxidant properties. Rhodiola, which is okay, some B12, methyl B12, and there's some other stuff there, but I don't know. Figured I'd give it a shot. Cost you under $1 per dose at my body weight, using their free trial offer. And you know what? I think I should throw in an application for it. Get on it. What's it supposed to do? It's supposed to help with performance booster, give you more energy, stuff. Yeah, I mean, I see your comment, user, where you say, just kidding. There's no caffeine in it. It's not caffeinated. They show these charts here. Let me go on the site but clinical trial results, and here's where I give them beef, okay? They show this shit. Really, really bad, hard to see, I know. But you see how this chart is constructed? Like it starts at 10. Scale starts at 10 on the y-axis. It's very misleading. Because really the difference is like, talking like a 10% difference, maybe 8% between the placebo and their supplement, but I mean, that's still something. Then bench plus squat combined reps, but like I want to see it broken out. They don't actually show squat reps versus bench reps. They just show like bench reps, then they put bench and squat combined reps. Then time on the treadmill goes up. Like it's apparently just it's a good thing. Okay. So their new formula was a subject of a double-blind placebo-controlled 12-week clinical trial performed at Florida State University using collegiate-aged men. The results of the trial showed statistically significant increases in performance. The bullet points. 1. Shown to increase bench press reps by 12%. 2. Shown to increase bench press and back squat reps by 7%. So the combination, I don't combine them in a different figure. That would mean that the back squat reps were actually going up by what? It's definitely lower than 12%. It's I don't know, like a 4%, 5% increase. Might eke out an extra rep. Shown to increase cardio performance by 8.8%. Well, that's very precise. 8.8%, eh? The results of the trial demonstrated ShroomTech's potential to increase training volumes during maximal aerobic training and moderate resistance training intensities. Okay, fine. They show a little YouTube video. Learn more details of the study here, and they link you over to a press release. And there's like Joe Rogan. I don't know. Anyways, I'm down to give it a shot for the, like what is it? Something like 80 cents a dose. Not cheap. Definitely not cheap. But the cordyceps stuff is very expensive by itself. I know that stuff, like, people in China sell that shit for crazy amounts. They put it in, like, gift boxes. Very expensive stuff. Okay. I was talking with my mother last night, actually. It's really interesting seeing traditional stuffs becoming gradually more mainstream. We engage in the scientific work, in measuring what it does. My grip is slipping. This was a problem last time. I have this stuff. Alright, check this out. Check out this container. Caffeine is also a fat burner. Just take caffeine, it's scientifically. Look at my swag. I build myself up by talking other people down. You're cool. You're really fucking cool. Dude. I don't get what the fuck's with people. Like, I wrote about this before. Like casual observation. Like successful people tend to be really guarded about their time. They can't come off like assholes. Therefore, be an asshole and then you'll become successful. It's putting the cart before the horse. One does not typically become successful by being an ass. Being an asshole by itself is not impressive to anybody. Have a mind. And Chris, it might be a scam. I do like that there's a double-blind, placebo, clinically controlled trial. I mean, that lends it a little bit of credibility. Hey Siri, timer 2 minutes. I'm gonna call that a good set. No, I know I split it into halves. Not good to start off and immediately feel grip slipping. I wonder if I can get a better angle, but it will look like it's 225 because there are actually 235 plates. During warm-up, I had started with a 45, added a 35, then added a 35. Pulled like twice, and then added the 10s. Alright, Chris. Trying to be helpful. And you are being helpful. I mean, I appreciate you being here. Like, and actually engaging while you do your work. It's great. I appreciate you. No need to. But yeah, I mean, going back over this, the whole supplementation, it's a very interesting topic. There was a site that I really liked where they can search for virtually any supplement. They provided some information on claims. See, linked over to clinical studies, efficacy, and then assigned them letter ratings. And on top of that, they build out some proposed stacks. That I went through that site some time ago and bulk ordered some supplements, just some website or other. Just like bulk ordered powders. But yeah, caffeine, highly effective. Probably easiest just to do in pills. I just drink a cup of coffee in the morning. If I feel like I need more later during the day, switch to tea. Antioxidants. Set 2, 5, and hey Siri, timer 2 minutes. Microphone, again, rubbing against my cheek from time to time. Just trying to ignore it. Caffeine pills, I think, are good because you can. It's repeatable. Redosed. More or less know what you're getting. And then you don't have the problems of bloat, liquid sloshing around in your belly. Don't need to get a high precision scale like you would if you were just buying powders. I just supplement with nicotine. It's a terrible thing. I don't think it's terrible. I don't think nicotine itself is terrible. It's just a very curious molecule. Heart rate is all over the place. I'm looking at what this Apple Watch has measured, and it's just. It claims that right now I'm sitting at 146, now 131 beats per minute, so. Nice and relaxed. That's a good idea. Just do some. Don't go too hard on it. Remember a year or two back, something that came out talking about protein powder, or just protein powder and elevated cancer risk. Some people were freaking out and tossing out all their subs. Oh no, I'm gonna get cancer. Yeah, you might. Red meat and cancer risks. That's why I'm grateful that I can eat with my family. I don't have to cook for myself all the time. Because when I'm cooking for myself, I'm very, very lazy about the fruits and veggies. I think I'm this way now. I don't even know. Whatever. Okay. You know what? If it's odd, we'll go to the left. Even, we'll go to the right. There. Got one more to do. But of course I've let it completely die. No momentum. We'll see. Fuck. Telling you, overthinking this is bad. Overthinking is always bad. Hey Siri. Hey Siri. Timer 2 minutes. That sucks, Chris. I'm sure there are things that we can do to mitigate risks. Right. Seems to be the general advice is to avoid excess. Avoid excessive consumption of alcohol, excessive consumption of red meats, excessive consumption of none. Just take the middle road, it's gonna be okay. Some fermented stuff. Science is finding all sorts of great things about that. Oh, I'm a fan of the kimchis. What do we have there's some pickled vegetables too. Fermentation is pretty unique. Last night I was reading about white pepper. And I know I've pulled up information on white pepper before. But, you know, like, maybe it's a different plant from black pepper. It's not. I used to have a coworker, he was married to a Korean woman. He lived in South Korea for some time and he married this Korean woman. He would tell me, like, yeah, she makes kimchi, he brews his own beer, she makes kimchi. I would ask him, like, hey, bring me one of those kimchi. Some kimchi. Never did. I felt sad. I was getting all hyped up. Kimchi, it's gonna be awesome. It is good though. I like it. I like, you know, rich, flavorful foods. But like where my family's from, my parents come from in China, I don't know, it's weird. They just eat, they go for freshness most of the time. Come from an island. Fishing was major industry. And I think it's still a pretty big deal. A lot of seafood processing. Fishing. And, you know, if there was too much to the point, and there was always too much, it was so abundant, they'd end up salting a lot. So growing up, I had a lot of salted fish. And learned later this is a thing too in the Caribbean. Saltfish. keeps longer when you don't have refrigeration. Not just the Caribbean, but like coastal regions in Europe, also very common. Salting, smoking. My brother married a girl from Kansas, and her family doesn't really eat seafood. It's converting her. Sent a picture from New Orleans, where they're attending something or other. Big old plate of oysters on the half shell. Set my timer wrong. And I was surprised, but not too disappointed, to learn that she didn't have any of them. I guess she thought they were too strange to eat. Oysters. Raw as they were. No, raw oysters are actually quite nice. They're just, it's like salty. It's like fish roe. It's fresh, it's just this salty little. It's like the ocean. Okay. Try to do better on this one. We'll be set for. Let me think. Okay. Not overthinking, just thinking. Fuck. At points like this, I start to wonder, do I really need to be doing 5 sets of 5 of this? The reason why I know it's overthinking is because just a couple of sessions ago, I blasted through 285. 295 isn't supposed to mess me up this much if I can knock out 285. Right, look, we went from 275, 2 attempts, 275, 275, then 285. 285 cleared in 1 attempt, then 295, 295. So you know what? It's okay. But it's only natural to question at this point. Right? Still, don't overthink it. Dummy. Five by 5, you say, isn't that much, but the weight seems too high. The very, very first time that I tried this 5 by 5 programming, in fact, the whole strong lifts deal, it only calls for 1 set of 5 on deadlift. And, way back when I was reading criticisms of the program, and they said 1 set of 5 on deadlift is way too little. You're not getting nearly enough training volume. So I kind of went 5 by 5. I was like, you know what? It's 5 by 5 on everything else. Do 5 by 5 on deadlift as well. I know at some point it's not going to be sustainable, but I don't think this is it. I don't think this is it for me. I think I can go further. I know I should be able to. Of course, the rest intervals aren't going to be remaining at 2 minutes, 2 minutes. Especially when I say, hey Siri, timer, 2 minutes. And what she hears, or it hears sometimes, is 10 minutes. I need to enunciate more, apparently. So I don't know when it will be too much, but at some point it will be too much. I just stay positive, keep showing up. No, Chris, I'm fully in agreement with you. In fact, I think it's terrible programming. I think it's absolutely dreadful programming. I've never, this is actually one of the, this is one point that I need to get over at some point. It's a hurdle. Right, I know that I have some room to go with beginner gains. I don't know when that ride's going to be over. But I want to play around a little bit with the variables that go into the actual work before abandoning course or charting a new course. But before that time, I do also want to have some idea of how to structure a new program. That time's going to come. For example, Chris says, I would change today's workout to 5x5 squats, and then change the sets and reps with OHP and deadlifts to something like 3x8, 12. Thing about the overhead press. I failed repeatedly at 95 pounds. But at the same time, in fact, you know what? How about this? We will deload. For the next time that I attempt the overhead press, I'm going to knock it down. Drop it by 10 pounds. Go down to 85. I have here, and I need to make this public again. I have a chart, and it shows me all the weights that I've hit before. And in the past, the very first time I did this, I was a little younger then, right? But it was 4 years ago. 4 years ago, I was plateauing on overhead press at 105, 110, 110 pounds. And I hit this 110 pounds a couple of times, and I was able to keep going past that. I eventually broke it. I went to 110, deload, and worked up again. 110, try, deload, and then I broke it. 115, deload, grinded back up until I hit 120. So I know I can do it. Because I've done it before. So, pardon me for being so stubborn. Now I've got one fifth and final set of this deadlift to bang out. I'm going to try to make it pretty. That's why I lose it. I still haven't taken care of these. They start to hurt. These fuckers start to hurt. I need to get rid of those calluses. They're not helping, they're just getting in the way. Alright. Everything is cool. Body gets used to the feeling of failing. It's like the mind gets sucked into it. And my desktop audio, I realize, has been on and broadcasting this whole time. I don't know if hearing random notification sounds. I just killed it. Chris, I will bear this in mind. the goal is not to repeatedly fail over and over again, but this is the programming. This particular programming calls for failure and then deload. And failure and deload. And of course, it's very much beginner programming. I really want to maximize what I can get out of it. See, when I approach this, the whole personal fitness exercise, it's definitely not from the perspective of optimization. Otherwise, when the folks talking about testosterone and other hormones come in, I'd be reaching out to them frantically. How do I get in on that? But I do need to accept, especially at this point, that there's some weights they're gonna force me to plateau. And I need to set up parameters, some heuristics that will indicate when it's time to move on to the next thing. Not just the next exercise sequence, but a new programming paradigm. That time will indeed come. Wonder about the scenes here. Like I said, Chris, I'm kind of stubborn. But I do know I've yet to actually deload. I would like to show you sometime. Maybe for the next run, I'll show you a chart of where the working weights have gone since I started. And you'll see the extraordinarily linear portion. You'll see the 1 month gap. It'll be a lot easier to communicate. And I'll make it publicly viewable as well. Once I know it's not gonna leak anything important. Hi, Mrs. Mac. Still beating myself up. Chris, I agree. I agree. It's not optimal. Definitely not optimal, and it's definitely not sustainable. I concede. There is a point where I'm not going to be able to keep up with this. 5x5. I know there's a next step, and I identified it like a long time back. I identified this as a stumbling point, because there's going to be a point at which I get frustrated by 5 sets of 5. I'm going to get frustrated by having to bang out like 100% intensity, or essentially like, give everything I've got just to knock out the 5 reps. And we're going to have to take exceedingly long rest periods in order to do the next set. It's just not good. It's not good. Again, do give me like I don't know, a day or two. Next session, that webcam should come in tonight or tomorrow evening. Should have that changed. I should have a new scene up. I should be able to revisit my scenes and tidy them up a bit. Oh yeah, keep going with this. And then it's about the sharing of the data. I want to share the data that I have collected, because I'm very methodical about data. This is not the first notebook that I've logged workouts in. This one has the first entry in this one for workout tracking comes from May of 2014. And the very next entry is from the tail end of January 2015. Now, inside of this, I've got everything up on a cloud-based spreadsheet. I've yet to update with any sessions that I've logged since the 4th of December. Since the 4th of December, there have been 1, 2, 3 more workouts, today included. 2 down to 290, 39. I have 292 data points. And that's across I'm going to call that 1, call that 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. I'm going to call this, okay, so 292 data points. Many different, 5, 6, 7 different exercises. I think this is sprint 7. You could call it sprint 7. Like starting from pretty much 0 and then grinding at it again. This is the 7th fucking time in my life. I'm ashamed of that number. It blows my fucking mind that because it takes such tremendous energy to go from 0 to anything, right? Like when you have momentum, you can keep it going. But it's a lot of it's process, people and process, right? My process has been bad before. It's just bad. There's a lot that's been tuning, refinement. But this time I have a really, really good feeling. I have a good feeling that this time I can completely eclipse anything I've done before. Personal fitness. Good feeling. You're right, this programming is not sustainable. But this effort, it is. Okay. Now, going right. Mrs. Mac, everybody's lazy. We're all lazy. I am probably one of the laziest people that I know, but also one of the most brutally honest people I know. At least with myself. And with close friends. Do I do more of this? Do I keep beating myself up here? Even though I know that revisiting the circuit is not going to go well. Barely going to get anything out of it. Looking at the clock, and I lean towards it. The sessions really have been starting to hit on 2 hours. This one's, at this point, we're crossing, we're a minute off of an hour 50 of uptime. And I still have 2 more accessory things I want to do. Suboptimal again. But I budgeted 6 hours a week, split into 3 sessions so far for personal fitness with this programming. 6 hours a week, just on actual, time here in this environment. So, in the interest of time, then. I guess that's where that's meant to be. I see some messages I shall review in a moment. So I go ahead and do this first? I think so. I've given myself very liberal rest intervals today. Compound lifts are really starting to beat the shit out of me. Hey Siri. Hey Siri. Timer 2 minutes. It's just a little bit of time invested. And it repays. Chris, I'm a little curious how much training one has to do in order to reach the state of overtraining. Mrs. Mac. I can only speak from my own experience, although I can also show my sister. She's done some writing on the subject. Talks about going from couch potato, badass motherfucker. She put on a lot of weight during her freshman year at boarding school. Like she left home and then she gained something like 15 pounds. A lot. You know, kind of kept quite weighty, chubby for a while. And then she, while working at a startup, she co-founded with some other classmates. One of them started doing like a beginner weight training program. Strong lifts, I think, or starting strength. And asked her that, hey, told her you should join in. She went. She'd already started cleaning up her diet a little bit. Then she started lifting and she grew obsessed with it. Had a lot of fun with it. I don't know where she's going to take her own physicality, her fitness next. This is like the gift. So long as you don't hurt yourself, kill yourself. Bad form. Trying to force things here. Alright, let's go knock that down a bit. Hey Siri. Timer 2 minutes. Anyways, I feel like this is a really good use of time. When I'm doing this, gotta blow off a bit of steam. Think about things. Life, the universe, and everything. I've managed. Yeah, I've had a few strokes of inspiration. Felt a mental unsticking while exercising. Helps with that. It's one of the things I encourage friends who are feeling a little down on their luck to do. I was saying earlier, for me, this is my 7th time where I've recorded. I've built myself up again. Lucky number 7. For people who've never done it before, some of my friends, it's exceedingly difficult to get them to take that first step. But everybody else seems to know, like, yeah, you feel like shit, just get your ass out of bed early one morning, hit the gym. Doesn't matter what you do. Let's go hit the gym. Meanwhile, the friends that, I'm already belly aching. Me at least. I've already put in my time with them. If they don't act on the advice, then Sorry, at some point I gotta distance myself, man. One cannot hang around chronically unlucky people, lest one become chronically unlucky. Wow. Uh-oh. My computer, okay, my computer didn't freeze. $1,500 a day, working out 5 to 6 days a week. Chris, what were you cutting for? Is it like in preparation for shoots? Mrs. Mac. Baby weight. Baby weight. What do you do now, Mrs. Mac? You know, what they say like what is it? The Pareto principle. So like 80% of gains come from the kitchen or from what you eat. I'm not saying like, woman, go to the kitchen. No. I was eating junk food every day. But I was able to keep my weight. I was actually losing weight progressively during that time. Or actually, eventually it stabilized at something like mid 130s. Of course, we speak in pounds here. You also used imperial units a moment ago when you said 30 pounds from baby. It's just, at the end of the day, it's energy balance, right? The thing is, you do it once, and then you can do it a million times. Like the actors. Take a look at old Christian Bale. Him from The Machinist. Who's that other guy? Guardians of the Galaxy. The guy who's also, he played Andrew Dwyer or whatever in Parks and Rec. Which, why am I only thinking of white people? Fuck. Maybe because I don't see, like, I don't know. Must be the Hollywood brainwashing. I don't know how many I did there, but I'm gonna... Hey Siri. Timer, 2 minutes. Mrs. Mac, where in the world are you again? You're in the US now? Stateside? I remember something about the UK, but I never asked you personally. And Chris, the tracking thing, I think it baffles a lot of people. Even though it's so devastatingly easy to do these days. Right, talking with my sister about people who were able to cut down really effectively. She was just like, oh yeah, there's this person I know. She's like been exercising for, 3 decades. She's like 50 years old, in great shape, and she says she never tracks. Yeah, I've got there are people my age, people younger that say, yeah, I don't track, but it's because they did it before. They did it at some point, or somebody that they really, really trusted told them, like, here's exactly how much you need to eat. You should eat that every single day. Just that diet. Get 1 cheat day a week, and you're gonna look great. New York State. Are you in the city or live in a town? The city slickers, they tend to walk around quite a bit. Unless they're super moneyed, in which case they just sit in the back of my bus. My buck. Get chauffeured around. Hey! What are you roughing about? Come here. Come. Be free. Go, my little one. Be free. I feel like I need to wash my hands now. I have to try to support his hind legs a bit. Like when you pick up a cat. Right? Oh, my hands are all wet. Thanks a lot, dog. Niagara Falls? I mean, Chris, yeah, when you track, it's really tough to go wrong with it, right? And I think it's many times easier when you're cooking your own food because you get the kitchen scale, and then you get MyFitnessPal or whatever, and then you're golden. But it takes a bit of time to get accustomed to the portioning. Once you get the portioning down, it's easy, smooth sailing. Right? You just have to have the willpower to stick to whatever it is you're eating. I've seen some pretty nice diets. I was trying nothing but white rice, a lean source of protein, and olive oil. Salt and pepper for seasoning. It was terrible. I had no vegetables. Awful. And white rice is like there's no fiber to it. It was a shitty diet, but you know what? Gave me a pretty good understanding of how much I need to eat if I want to become a 150-pound male. I think I set my goal weight at like 150, 155. But that's neither here nor there. It was a really brief stint, and around day 30 or something, I was like, yeah, I'm going to try doing this. I'm going to try to pump my weight up. But I was eating so much, it was just making me feel shitty all day. I felt like I was spending all day eating. It was like every 2 hours while I was awake, I would take something out of the fridge and go microwave it, and then sit down and eat it. And afterwards, it would just feel hot. Just like heat in my belly because of so much salt and pepper, I guess. And it just felt like shit. Awful. But yeah, you know what? There'll come a time where I can do that, but not today. Not today. Check up here. 600 calories a day is crazy, Mrs. Mac. Also, thank you, kind commenter about sick chest bra. Make it super sick. Chris, I'm still curious what the cutting was for. Is it for photo shoots? Or just because you could? Oh yeah, I can repeat this weight. Hey Siri. Hey Siri. Timer 2 minutes. Maybe it's my restream chat. It's messing up. I'll have to take a look over logs later just to be sure. Chris. Oh yeah. 16 to 25% body fat. Yeah, I have no. I mean, now I'm starting to. As soon as you say that, I'm starting to get a feel for, like body fat figures for women. For men, it's carry around a lot less body fat. You have to be something like 13 and down, or to have any visible abdominals. Like, hey, I guess I'm somewhere beneath that number. Then, I mean, for show, people are showing up at like physique competition. There's that guy that somebody was asking about. You know, when they show up on the stage, they're at something like 6% body fat, which is insane. Really, really low. They're just dried out. People don't walk around looking like that every single day of their lives. Like I'm kind of curious what I'd look like if I tried cutting. I should. I just want to eat a little bit, be healthy, have good energy. Look good naked. Don't have to look like a superhero. Comic book. Stronger until a point where it's exceedingly difficult to get any stronger. Poor time under tension, needs to drop the weight, clearly ego lifting. See that? The trolls haven't been showing up in force lately, so now I gotta troll myself. Chris says that Chris is now at 17% with 2 visible abs. That's good, right? I'm still curious why. It's just, I mean, you say it's to keep your gains relatively optimal. Guess it make it easy to, it's more apparent, become easier to show. Yeah, I don't think I'm gonna be able to get my camera until tomorrow. Webcam. Somewhere up in North Houston. Tracking information doesn't show it's on a truck delivery today, so bad. All right. I guess I should also include some of this. Baby abs. You want the most muscle possible. Oh, oh, the cramping. Wow. That's one of the craziest feelings in the world. Sorry. Complete tangent, but whew. All right. So you end up on like a keto type diet, ketogenic diet, while cutting. Low carbs, huh? Try to get rid of some bloat too. Right. Oh. So again, with this like philosophy, when it comes to food, putting things into our bodies. Let me just put it that way. Okay, like in this whole general area of putting things into our bodies, even when it comes to exercise, and this is where my philosophy breaks down, right, on the exercise. But let's ignore that for now. I'm a fan of this minimal effective dose, right? What's the least amount of a thing that you can do in order to gain the desired effect? Because you're right. There's the inverted U is everywhere. It's all around us, right? Like you eat, say if what you really need is like I don't know, 250 calorie surplus, and you know, if you're only giving yourself a surplus 100 calories, then your gains are going to go really, really, really slowly. It's going to be painstakingly slow, but you know, you'll get some, right? And it's also possible to, I believe it's possible to simultaneously lose fat and gain muscle. Like I've been around the same body weight now for 6 months, but I know I've added some lean mass, right? And I'm sure that, I'm sure, I don't know, actually. I haven't tracked my, in fact, I'm silly because I've got this scale that's got the electrodes in it, and it reads back a percent body fat. I should have done that this whole time, but I didn't. I don't know why not. Yeah, so at some point, you get less of what you want, and of the undesirable, it's inverted U, right? You want to hit that sweet spot, or close to it anyways. And that's why, personally, I try to avoid the extremes. Like quick drug talk when it comes to the things of the 420 nature. I like microdosing flowers, vaporization, as opposed to vaporization of concentrates. Some people love their concentrates and they go hard on the concentrates, but it's an inverted U, man. I mean, part of it's probably I have like a lower threshold than the average person, responsive to certain chemicals. What I'm saying is I'm a cheap date. Getting to the close of today's program. Still want to do some more of this hanging leg raise. Told the abdominals had cramped up a moment ago. You know what helps? I think just stretching. Oh, water. Bananas. It's a sodium potassium pump, right? Because somebody I should work obliques. They were right. I gotta work all the things. I'm a fan of old Tim Ferriss. I don't know why, but it started with his 4-hour work week. Which I guess you could say I'm still working towards. But it's gonna take a lot of grinding. It's gonna take a lot of grinding. You know, I like this I consider part of my work product, but it's not truly work. It's just this is a very restorative type of thing for me, right? This is rejuvenating. This is people getting to watch me become younger and stronger. But the actual work product. Anyways, Tim Ferriss, and he had this book that he put out later. He put out a few more books. He's got one book most recently, Tools of Titans. I've yet to read. Get an ebook, or I'll actually drop by my local library. That fine resource. I really like libraries, actually. Something about the smell. Books. He had one called 4-Hour Body, and he was advocating this minimal, effective something. There's like the smallest amount of effort, that marginal thing in order to achieve the marginal result. Talking about sticking points in lifts. And I think I need to actually think about that a little bit too. It's like these, like why pin squats or lifting from a certain position. Focusing on this like one portion of the exercise. I need to give that a second look. Because I think there's a lesson to be learned there. And it's going to become increasingly important in these weeks ahead. Yeah, that's the one part of that I guess is looking decently developed. My bench is nothing impressive. Just did a lot of push-ups. Not even like the sprint. It's just a thing I've always. Anyhow, if I have to look at myself, I think the reason why folks sometimes say like, "Hey, don't skip leg day," is because I don't have these massive calves. My understanding is like a lot of bodybuilders they'll spend a lot of time working calves. I don't understand. I showed thighs before. Everything's coming together slowly. There's still a long way to go. I told the tractors early on, come by, on day 100. I wonder what my lifts will be at that time. Just marginally higher, I'm sure. Okay, no more gas in the tank for those. So now we recruit. I'm going to say some brief words before I terminate the recording. But again, as is tradition, I'll leave the live broadcast rolling a while longer yet, because I'd like to do a graceful handoff to the rest of my day. Always be streaming, right? Not the mantra of Twitch. Alright. I don't really know what lessons were to be drawn from today. Beyond beginner gains are going to be exceedingly harder to get. They're going to be increasingly harder to get. And I'm going to have to start really breaking down compound movements even into individual components eventually. Also, I need to suck it up at some point and just say, look, I've been consistent for the last month or so. If I hit a weight and I can't pass it, I need to go with the original design intentions of this program and just deload. Just suck it up, deload. Don't sweat it. Right. The next time that I'll be lifting is on Friday. I can't believe it's Wednesday. And on Friday, it's going to be a bench day. You can expect to see squat at 255, bench moving up to 175, pull-ups, I think, still starting at 22.5, and then, the other accessory stuff. I feel like those Fridays should be fairly easy, although, I don't know, the bench might be a little tough this time. I know that 5th set during the last session was pretty rough, pretty gritty. So with that, I'm going to terminate my local recording.